Hey now. So I saw The Town yesterday. The new Ben Affleck directed and starring bank robber movie. And I'll give it a 9. It was an excellent film. A little over 2 hours, and it went right on by. It's about Ben Affleck is the main character. He's basically working in the family business of robbing banks and armored cars. That's all he knows. That's what he was taught. And he has, brothers, not literal brothers, but guys he grew up with his whole life, which he calls brothers, and they are his team. Together they rob banks and armored cars. Also stars Blake Lively, Jeremy Renner, or is it Renner? The guy from Hurt Locker, Pete Postlethwaite, John Hamm from Mad Men. Great cast. And it's basically about them robbing banks. John Hamm plays a FBI agent, a relentless FBI agent who wants to catch them. That's pretty much the film right there. I guess they do take a hostage at one of the banks. They let the hostage go, and then to make sure the hostage doesn't talk, Ben Affleck starts up a relationship with her. So it's also, I guess, about that. But that relationship really takes a back seat. Again, the movie is about the guys. Mostly, really, the movie is about Ben Affleck. And he didn't write it. It's based on a book. I don't know who wrote it. Ben Affleck did direct it. This is his second film after Gone Baby Gone. And he's a great director. It turns out he's a fantastic director. And he's a really good actor most of the time. Most of his films. And he's a very good actor here when he's directing himself. Jeremy Renner from Hurt Locker, great. The character isn't too different from Hurt Locker, so you don't get to see too many other colors from him, but man, he can really play that character. He can really play that part. He plays a great crazy guy who just is not afraid of anything. Just balls out all the time. And man, he nails that performance. Again, kind of the same performance as Hurt Locker, but whatever. Excellent acting. Let's see. Other actors to mention. Pete Postlethwaite is always good. He was also in Inception this summer. So he's got 2 great movies under his belt this summer. He's good here. He has a much larger part than Inception. And, just his face. You're just captivated by his face. At least I am. But he's a great actor here. He's a great actor, and he does great here. I don't want to spoil anything, but yet I must talk about Pete Postlethwaite has a death scene. So I'm spoiling it. Spoiler alert. Pete Postlethwaite dies. But I have to talk about that because his death scene is amazing. That's what I've been thinking about from this movie over the day, is how good Pete Postlethwaite died. Seriously, Gary Oldman level of death scenes here. Great stuff from him. One of the best Pete Postlethwaite's parts I can think of. Great actor. I see a lot of Clint Eastwood influence in Ben Affleck. Both of his films, Ben Affleck's films, are very similar in tone, in pacing. Again, Gone Baby Gone was an excellent film, an 8 off the top of my head. I'm giving, again, The Town a 9. They feel very similar. They feel the same. I see a lot of Clint Eastwood in Ben Affleck. Just the way that the story, I don't know, nothing ever feels rushed. Nothing ever feels rushed. And there's like car chases and shootouts in this movie, and it just takes its time. It's like it feels totally organic. And you're just along for the ride. But I don't know if he ever worked with Clint Eastwood, but I don't know. Whenever I watch Ben Affleck films, I just think that they could have been made by Clint Eastwood. So I don't know what that's about. It's just how I feel. And I think what's most interesting about Affleck's first two films are they are both morally, I think I'm using the word right, ambiguous. They are both morally ambiguous, where after the films are over, you're sitting there wondering, is that a happy ending? Is that a good ending? Is justice served? So things aren't wrapped up with a pretty bow, There are open ends. There are uneasy feelings. Something may happen. You don't know if you necessarily agree with what happened. The viewer might not be happy. The viewer may think that, it's wrong. Something is wrong here. So I enjoy that. I think that's great. That one, he's managed to make two films that are uncompromising, and that somehow escaped the studio Hollywood happy ending, to where again, Gone Baby Gone does not end well. A lot of people that I've talked to are upset over the way Gone Baby Gone ends. And to make a movie, your first movie, and have it be that, that's impressive. And now, I don't know, he's grown as a filmmaker, and this is a large, it takes place all over Boston and Charleston. Lots of characters. Every character, it avoids cliche. He has to deal with women, two separate women, two very different kinds of women. And when I thought it was going to fall into cliche with the woman thing, with like, oh, you're dangerous for me, but I am still attracted to you. I don't know. Whenever it thought it was going to fall into cliche, it didn't. It avoids cliche. That's very hard and very admirable. Again, if I had to pick a weak point, it would be the woman stuff. His involvement with two different women. And still, it's handled very well. Very well. Every character, though you may not see him as much as other characters, feel well-rounded, feel fleshed out. They feel lived in. All of the acting is great, and a lot of faces are new. So it's just a great film. It's a 9. Definitely one of the better films of the year so far. I bet he's aiming for a Oscar nomination here. I would say easy. So I would definitely get to the big screen to see this. It played very well on a very large screen. It was very loud and very, fun. It was a good time. I don't really know what else to say other than The Town is a great movie. Another success for Ben Affleck. So that's The Town. It's a 9. Check it out, definitely. Thanks.